You're watching Unpackaged Goods. I'm your host, Jonathan Dieter.
I mean, even though we stand alone, we stand together.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for landing. Fasten your seatbelts. Thank you for flying Air Force Airlines. Oh, me. Call me the captain. Just blaze.
They say a family that prays together stays together, and one that walks apart just falls apart. So together we stand, divided we fall, united we form Voltron and take on all. Let's move, yes. The birds left the nest. I'm all grown up, I gotta fly with the rest. Best of the best is what we strive to be.
Welcome back. It has been a minute. We've been busy and rethinking format for this podcast. Solo episode under the Unpackaged Good brand, under the Unpackaged Goods umbrella. We may keep that. That may just be me, but the podcast is going to move to a new name, new host, new co-host. I'm going to be bringing on Mackenzie Dieter, my sister, and we are going to be starting a show called Family Size, where every week we're going to be talking about the news. It's going to be a little bit more fun because I'm going to have my sister here to banter with me. But that's what the podcast focus is going to be. And we're going to grow Family Size, and we're going to have founders on, and have a lot of founders that are lined up to come on to talk to Mackenzie and I. But it will be really fun. She's based in Dallas, so she's going to be able to cover HEB, Central Market, Foxtrot, and really bring a different perspective of the working baddie. She's full-time big law lawyer. So I think it's going to be really fun to bring her on. She's super excited. So Family Size, new podcast under the Deed Seats umbrella, coming out soon. Still going to have Unpackaged Goods. The cadence of it, figure that out. Let's see, a couple other housekeeping items. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, head over to Substack, link in bio. If you haven't followed us on Instagram or TikTok, make sure you do that. We've been seeing some growth recently, which has been great. And so that's part of the reason why we're going to get back in the routine with the podcast is the audience is growing. And so it makes a little bit more sense. It's a lot of work to put together this podcast. And so having it appreciated is definitely worth the time. So follow, rate us 5 stars, leave us a review if you haven't. It really helps for discoverability. This is going to be a solo episode, so just me. We're going to rip through the news. A lot of fun stuff to talk about, so we're going to talk through it. Some what could have beens, some new products, some launches. So let's rip through it. So, got some coffee. I hear the dog snoring. So let's start with the deal that didn't happen. Puig and Estée Lauder. Merger talks have ended without a deal. So I've been tracking this for over a month, and we'll walk you through the timeline again for those of you that are catching up on this. Week 1, exploratory talks begin to happen. 2 of the biggest names in prestige beauty, with Estée Lauder down almost 75% over the last 5 years. So this is an acquisition that they kind of need out of desperation. Week 2, talks are getting serious. Reuters is reporting the 2 have come to the table. Week 3, the founding families come together to talk terms. And we said how this was going to be the sticking point. These are family legacy brands that have been around forever. How much governments they choose to give up is going to be a sticking point. Week 4, talks end without a deal. So let's recap. What went wrong? Governance. Exactly what I flagged in our newsletter. I wrote this exact line. How they structure shared governance, board seats, voting rights, executive appointments, determines whether this deal closes or falls apart. It fell apart. And like I said, both families wanted control here, and that makes sense. The Lauder family has built a multi-generational beauty company. The Puig family built a multi-generational prestige platform. Some of the hottest scents and fragrances around right now. Neither was willing to cede control to save the other. Family-controlled companies are family-controlled for a reason, and that reason sometimes prevents a deal that would create the most value. What would have been? Charlotte Tilbury, Byredo, Dr. Strum, Rabbani, alongside Clinique, MAC, Tom Ford Beauty, La Mer, and Bobbi Brown. The best contemporary prestige portfolio merged with the legacy prestige portfolio, plus global distribution. Together, they would have rivaled L'Oreal across prestige makeup, skincare, fragrances simultaneously. And it would have been near a $40 billion combined entity. It would have been the largest beauty merger in history. So what happens now? Estée Lauder remains independent with their stock down over 75% over the last 5 years. The strategic logic hasn't changed. Estée needs a partner. The brand portfolio is extraordinary, but it's underperforming. Puig retains the best contemporary prestige brands in beauty, but they lack the Estée Lauder distribution. Both are weaker apart than they would have been together. Estée Lauder needs a different strategic path, another merger partner, a PE takeover, or a fundamental operational turnaround. None of those options are as elegant as the Puig deal. The lesson for every deal in CPG: strategic logic doesn't close deals. Governance closes deals. The Unilever and McCormick deal worked because the governance structure was clear from day one. Unilever got 65%, McCormick got operational control of food, clean separation. Puig and Estée Lauder failed because neither family could agree on who runs what. For any founder or CEO considering a merger, solve governance before you solve valuation. If you can't agree on who's in charge, the deal is dead before it starts. Segment 2. Blackstone is circling the ice cream spinoff. While one mega deal died, another one emerged. Blackstone and CDR and several other PE firms are reportedly exploring a takeover of Magnum Ice Cream Company. The Unilever spinoff that owns Ben&Jerry's, Talenti, Breyers, Klondike, Cornetto, and Yasso. Market cap north of 8 billion euros. So let's talk about why private equity is circling this deal. 6 months as an independent company and the largest PE firms are already at the door knocking. PE sees what it always sees: strong brands that were underinvested and under-optimized inside a conglomerate, now available standalone with room to improve margins, rationalize the portfolio, and accelerate growth. Ben&Jerry's alone has enormous brand equity. Talenti dominates the premium gelato. Yasso pioneered frozen Greek yogurt. Stride backed it before Unilever acquired it. Breyers and Klondike are legacy mass brands with steady cash flows. So what a PE takeover looks like: premiumize what can be premiumized. Talenti and Ben&Jerry's have room to move up market. Optimize margins on legacy brands. Breyers and Klondike generate cash that funds growth. Potentially divest what doesn't fit. Some of the international brands may not be core. Streamline manufacturing and supply chain. The classic PE value creation playbook. 8 billion euros plus. This would be one of the largest consumer PE deals of the year. Unilever spin-off strategy playing out. Unilever spun off ice cream, merged with McCormick, acquired Grunz for $1.2 billion. The company systematically shed non-core assets and redeployed into beauty and wellness. Now the assets it shed are attracting PE interest at scale. Unilever's strategic clarity created value for someone else to capture. That's not a failure. That's portfolio management working as designed. Segment 3, Jams and the NFLPA. Product wins again. Let's dive in. So Jams is now the official PB&J provider of the NFLPA, the NFL Players Association. So I need you to hear this full story because it's a fun one. And it's one of the best brand building case studies in CPG right now. So the timeline: 2025, Jams launches Better For You PB&Js from dropout companies. And they got some early NFL investors like JJ Watt. Who else? Jams NFL investors. Oh, that's right. JJ Watt and Caleb Williams. In early 2026, they begin outselling Uncrustables in same item sales at Target 6 months after launching. This week, they announced their partnership with the NFLPA, formulating and coming out with the perfect PB&J, co-developed by the NFLPA for retail. The NFLPA math, according to the New York Times report for 2024, go through between 3,600 and 4,300 PB&Js a week. That's crazy. Across 32 franchises. That's over 115,000 PB&Js a week across the NFL. And Jams just became the brand feeding that demand. So why this deal creates a flywheel? NFL credibility drives consumer trial. PB&J, the NFL eats, is a powerful retail message. Retail velocity at Target proves the product works for everyday consumers, not just athletes. The perfect PB&J co-branded with the NFLPA becomes a new SKU with built-in demand. And with JJ Watt and Caleb Williams as investors, means the athletic endorsement is authentic. Oh, who else is in there? Is CJ Stroud? And CJ Stroud. Forgot about him. He's the one I was thinking, well, I don't think Caleb Williams is. Scratch that. CJ Stroud. These are actual investors, not paid spokespeople. They have equity and they want this to succeed. So the contrast from Mas Plus, which is Messi's sports drink that recently announced it was closing down. Messi's hydration brand shuttered, like I said last week. The most famous athlete on earth, plus he had Mark Anthony's distribution infrastructure. Still couldn't make it work. Jams has 0 celebrity co-founders, 0 famous faces on the packaging. It beat Uncrustables at Target and landed the NFL because the product is better. That's it. That's the whole story. What Jams teaches every founder: you don't need a celebrity to build a massive brand. You need a product that earns repeat purchase. You need distribution that compounds. You need positioning so clear it explains itself in 2 words: better PB&J. Everything else, the NFLPA deal, JJ Watt, CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams, the target velocity, follows those 3 things. The product starts it always. Segment 4, Olipop packaging refresh. Let's go. So Olipop dropped a packaging refresh this week, and I think it's one of the most strategically important rebrands of the year. So what changed? Old packaging led with gut health and functionality, fiber content, prebiotics, digestive benefits. The new packaging leads with flavor, fun, and nostalgia. The functional benefits are still there. They're just not the first thing that you see. So why this matters? Olipop walked away from a Coca-Cola deal, and they raised $200 million from Morgan Stanley instead. They're building for mainstream scale, not wellness aisle niche. And mainstream consumers don't buy soda because of prebiotic fiber. They buy soda because it looks good and it tastes good. The gut health is a reason to feel good about the purchase, not the reason to make it. The oldest rule in CPG. Eventually, the better for you product has to look like something people actually want to buy. Olipop's original packaging was designed for the Whole Foods consumer who reads every label. The new packaging is designed for the Walmart consumer who grabs what looks good. That shift from education to desire is how functional brands cross from niche to mainstream. Liquid IV did the same thing. Started with hydration, started with hydration science messaging, evolved to flavor and lifestyle. And it's now doing over $1 billion under Unilever. And the data backs it up. Olipop's retail volume is up 17.5% for the 4-week period ending May 2nd, following a 22.3% bump in March, progressively reducing the retail price as well. Volume growing, prices coming down, packaging modernizing, walking away from Coca-Cola, and raising $200 million from Morgan Stanley instead. Olipop finally understood the assignment. The lesson: function gets you noticed, shelf appeal gets you paid. The brands that win at scale are the ones that make the reason to buy obvious without requiring the consumer to read a paragraph of functional claims. Olipop's new can says this is delicious soda first, and it also has prebiotics second. The hierarchy is everything. All right, segment 5. Moss Plus by Messi shutters. Celebrity is not a category strategy. So Moss Plus by Messi is shutting down after nearly 2 years. I want to spend some time on this because it proves something we've been saying for a long time. So Lionel Messi, arguably the most famous athlete in the world, maybe ever, billions of fans globally, recognition that transcends sports, language, and geography. Mark Anthony Brands, the company behind White Claw, just acquired Finnish long drink for $325 million, massive distribution infrastructure, hydration format, a category that's growing. So everything was in place and it still didn't work. Why? Why it failed. The sports hydration category is brutally competitive. Gatorade, Liquid IV, Prime, Electrolyte, Dry Water, Steph Curry's Plezzy. Consumer didn't see a reason to switch beyond Messi's face on the can. That's the whole diagnosis. There was no product market fit beyond the celebrity awareness. Messi drove trial. The product didn't drive repeat purchase. And in CPG, trial without repeat purchase is a death sentence. The pattern is always the same. Celebrity gets you trial, only the product gets you back. If the product creates a daily habit with genuine repeat purchase, celebrity accelerates it. If the product doesn't earn a repeat purchase on its own, celebrity makes the problem until it can. Messi is the most dramatic proof of this we've seen. If the most recognizable human on earth can't sustain a beverage brand through celebrity alone, nobody can. All right, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to talk about Brammy and then be done. Segment 6. So Brammy, $33 million in the rest of the rapid funding frenzy. Let's go. So we're going to run through the funding and the deals, everything you need to know. M&A, VC. So we're going to start with Brammy. There is a $33 million Series B led by PB&J partners. Protein pasta, fastest growing pasta brand in America. They started a snack brand starting in 2016. They pivoted to pasta in 2021. Company completely rebuilt. They're now at Walmart, Costco, Kroger, Target. PB&J's portfolio: Bear Snacks, sold to PepsiCo; Sunbum, sold to SC Johnson; and Perfect Snacks. Wayne Wu is joining the board, brings direct operational involvement. The pivot story is the lesson. Find the bigger opportunity, commit completely, let velocity prove you right. Protein pasta follows the same trajectory as protein ice cream, protein chips, and every staple food getting a functional upgrade. Proper Wild raised $11 million at a $161 million valuation. So Energy Shots launching gummies. They added Altria on the cap table, Vice Ventures, and a number of family offices. Format evolution from shots to gummies mirrors Grun's enjoyable format, drives adherence. Altria's convenience store expertise is the underappreciated strategic asset in this deal. Good Molecules brought on Aria Growth Partners, so they're profitable, north of $100 million. Prestige Skincare. Aria exited Hero Cosmetics and Lesser Evil successfully, so profitable at over $100 million in skincare. Aria sees the exit playbook clearly. Stone and Skillet raised $5 million from BFG partners. Artisanal English muffins in over 3,000 doors. Founded in 2014, English muffins get premiumized. Same thesis as Siete and Tortillas. Dave's Killer Bread and Bread. Banagua Banana Water raised $5.5 million from Hingham Growth Partners and a number of influencers. Buzzballs is up 65% under Sazerac. Danone finally left Lifeway after a number of failed takeovers. And that's it. That's the pod for this week. We're back. We're going to have a number of guests. Mackenzie joining. If you haven't followed us yet, or subscribed or rated us 5 stars and left a review, please do that if you've made it this far. Wow. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. We out.